uncovering all the news from every dark corner of the universe. SliceOfSciFi.com.
Hey, welcome everyone to another Slice of Sci-Fi. I'm Mark Alarmenenge.
I'm Megan Zier.
One of you.
And I'm Ben Raggington. And tonight we have on the phone with us Claire Coffey. You might know her from a little show that is on the telly right now called Grimm. So, hello, Claire. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing quite well. Thank you. Happy to be on the show.
It is awesome to have you on. We have a lot of people from Grimm, and just love that show and love all you guys. And it's awesome to get yet another character. Adalind Schade, or Schade?
Yeah, is it Schade?
Yeah, I want to say Schade.
Schade, yeah, there you go.
It's like we're reluctant to speak German.
That's apparently the Romanian pronunciation.
That is the Romanian.
And also the Light FM easy listening pronunciation.
That is exactly
I expect you to break into Cool Operator any moment now.
Yeah.
I just tell you what.
Smooth operator, let's be real. Smooth operator.
No, it's an interesting spelling on that name, and it's I'm sure by design and by device.
So let's start from the beginning. What can you tell us about your time with Grimm? How did that part come across? I mean, how did you get it? Did your agent suggest it to you, or how did that come about?
It was just during pilot season. Like every other audition during pilot season, you get 5 million of them. It's like the craziest time of year in terms of auditioning. So I got the audition, went in, and went on tape. And at that point, there were scenes, because in the pilot, Adalind doesn't speak at all until the very end. So she has like 2 lines in the entire pilot. But they had written these scenes, like one scene where I eat the head of a police officer, and so there was more to act out because they knew that the role would be recurring. They just didn't know how far and how long. And I've been in the business so long at this point that I just assumed that it's one and done for everything. Like they always say it's going to recur. They always say it's going to get picked up, and you just sort of assume that. I assume now that the work ends when I leave set.
Well, I'm sure they have to say that because they want to make sure that you give it your all when you're auditioning. But I'm fascinated with the idea.
I try to give it my all.
I'm fascinated that,
especially in a role like this, where she was a badass from day one. And, that's always that's always a pleasure. So yeah, I went on tape, and then the guys reviewed the tape and got the job. Then the pilot got picked up, and that was exciting, but I still didn't know how much I'd be involved. And then did a few episodes, and then the arc kind of ended with the season finale, the first season, and again assumed I wouldn't be back. And then all of a sudden got the call, and then they made me a series regular, which, I just assumed that I was coming back on to die a glorious death, like most of the veterans do. But yeah, it's been just kind of beyond my wildest dreams wonderful.
Yeah, and now when you first read the script of this, what did you think of Grimm? It is an odd premise. It's kind of a different take on a police procedural.
Right. I just thought it was so cool. I've always wanted to do a genre type, a fantasy type show. I grew up Next Generation was one of my favorites, and
you're our favorite person now.
We love you now. Your stock in this room has just gone way up.
Well, that's when I was little. So I used to have. See, now you guys will take me seriously. Everybody else takes me seriously. I used to have.
Like we weren't taking you seriously before.
Exactly.
I will admit, I was like, oh, she's on Grimm. But really.
But I used to have recurring nightmares of aliens when I was little. Like, I fully, wholeheartedly believe in aliens because it's weirder that there wouldn't be another species in this great giant universe. Or how depressing is that there's only us? So anyway, I would have these recurring alien nightmares, and then Next Generation, then any alien or disaster movies are just sort of I'm so afraid of them, and they keep me up at night, but they're my favorite things to watch. That's, that's the way it goes. So anyway, I was really excited to finally get to do a show that dealt with the supernatural world, or dealt with the other.
Well, that's fantastic.
I'm
and the fact that you're a Star Trek fan is just huge. I love that.
I'm still hung up on this audition that you had to do. So, how much preparation time did you have for it? Because the idea of trying of doing an audition where you're eating someone's head it's just.
Was that a pantomime? What was that?
I'm kind of curious.
They just give you a big cassava melon and go, here you go.
That would have been really refreshing.
Well, cassava melons are very
also,
refreshing.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they just it happens. It's implied at the end of the dialogue, so I just had to look sort of menacing and seductive at the same time. I'm starting to perfect my menacing, seductive smirk.
Awesome.
On Grimm.
Awesome.
If they ever when they release Grimm on DVD and do bonus packages, they really need to include the audition tapes as well, because I would love I would get it just for that.
Someone has it somewhere.
Oh,
no
I'm
doubt.
sure. I'm sure they do. So you get to spend a lot of you get a lot of interaction with all the characters on there, but Sasha, of course, is definitely one of the more interesting groups. One of the characters that you get to interact with. Talk to us a little bit about that.
That's been the kind of bummer this season. Well, it's not really a bummer because I get back to Sora and James Frayne and all of these fantastic characters, but since I'm in Vienna, there's not as much opportunity until, right before the break, obviously, I came to town and wreaked havoc and got to catch up with Sasha, hear how he's doing. But yeah, for the most part, I'm sequestered in Vienna, in Portland on our soundstage. So I don't get to interact. I haven't had as much contact with the rest of the gang as I would have liked.
Right.
It's like you're actually worlds away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Imagine that.
True. Yeah, with schedules and everything. I see you in the makeup trailer and, check in on how Bree's kids are doing and Sasha, how his relationship is going. He's in a wonderful relationship with a girl named Asha, which is kind of awesome and crazy. So, yeah.
Wow, we're getting all the dirt on Sasha. This is awesome.
Yeah, see? Oh, boy. Yeah, he's going to love this.
That's all right. We've had him on a few times. It's awesome. The show has. Actually, let's back up a little bit. So, if for some reason somebody was, I don't know, had a concussion or something and wasn't able to catch up on this season, talk to us a little bit about this season and what's going on with Grimm, what's going on with you, the characters, and so forth, and get everybody caught up to speed. Why do they need to start watching the show again?
Well, so this season we've really gotten to go in depth to the mythology of the show, what's behind. So the first season kind of explored the what, right? Where, what are these Western creatures, which is, I guess, pronounced Wesen. It's airing in Germany, and I've gotten some Twitter German backlash about our mispronunciation of
Oh,
these
no,
terms.
not Twitter German backlash.
To Germany. Yeah,
them Twitter German trolls, I tell you, that's just awful.
It's terrible.
Everything just sounds more critical in German.
Yeah, I know. I get scared. So the first season, was what are these creatures? And Nick kind of figuring out how he's going to deal with these creatures. And so for the second season, what's fun is that we can really open up to the why. Why are they in Portland? Who's controlling these creatures? Do they have the same kind of ideas, same morals that humans do, just in a different form? And I think that's what's been so fun this year, to see that they're human-esque. They have the same wants and desires as humans. It's just sometimes they can go a little further with it because they have these powers.
They can tear arms off of people.
You can tear arms off. You can inject someone with eyeballs with spit and eat eyeballs. There's just all sorts of
and I think
horrible. horrible things.
And I think what's interesting is not just the the society, but also like the politics of like Vesan politics or Vesan.
Absolutely.
And your character is getting more involved in that.
So that's what's obviously been fun for me. Is kind of Adalind's really, she was out on her own at the end of the first season, and so she's been trying to figure out the best way to regain her powers, both her
because she's not Vesan
powers
anymore,
and then also just and her powers as a person, kind of untethered. And so trying to figure out where her alliances are going to lie, if anywhere. And she knocks herself up, which is
that sounds very empowering. As she did it to herself.
Yeah, the woman's best.
Go girl power. There you go.
Her best line of defense. Her best line of defense is to impregnate herself with some royal blood.
Oh, that got a little less girl power there.
And then the episode tomorrow. So I thought it was bad enough, like that really cliched sort of the crazy psycho bitch who gets pregnant to manipulate. And then you find out tomorrow that she has even more dastardly aspirations for this unborn child. So she's definitely on a mission.
That is awesomeness. If you stopped watching and aren't ready to watch again just for that alone.
And the episode. Well, it's a great episode for everybody, actually, across the board. I got to have morning sickness for an entire episode, so that changed my makeup. So that was fun. All sorts of stuff.
Yeah, impregnating yourself. Fun for the whole family. There you go.
Yeah. Life lessons. It's like an episode of The More You Know.
There you go.
And one of the things that I've noticed is as I look over your filmography is you are clearly the working actress. And I noticed that you've got some projects that are overlapping. Now, going back to Grimm, how would you like to see your character develop in terms of shall we say, story presence, and are you? I guess that's the big question. Where would you like to see your character go? Would you like to see her gain a bigger presence in the show?
Yeah, it's just such a hard question. I definitely, you always want to have a bigger presence as an actor. It's just always like, when more screen time, more lines, please. Can I just, we're very selfish beings, but Adalind, like that's. I get so excited to read the scripts because right now the trajectory is kind of wide open, and where we leave the season, actually, it's still pretty unclear as to where her head is at. Like she's definitely trying to get these powers back, but what is she going to do once she even gets the powers back? And the fun thing for me in playing her this year is that she has a little bit more humanity. She has fear for the first time, because everybody wants to kill her. There's no person who does not want to kill her for some reason, and especially, Eric doesn't know that she's pregnant yet. Sean doesn't know that she's pregnant yet, but these are just very tight ropes that she's walking, and so that's a fun thing to figure out how to play. The next season, though, it would definitely be fun to get her powers back, but I'm very curious as to, is there a family outside of the royals that she would be aligning herself with, or, Sean is moving toward Nick's side and moving toward being an ally with him. So, I'm just interested to see what is going to happen with everybody. That's a really long-winded,
Hey, we were sitting here in rapt attention.
That's
so
right. That's right.
There you go.
We didn't cut you off, so you're in good shape.
But,
you were hanging on every word.
That's right.
Well, and with my schedule too, it's like I can work a day, I can hang out in Portland and eat some Portland food, I can go on a work another day. It's a pretty nice life, Adalind's work schedule.
Well, there you go. Let's talk about Claire a little bit. You tempted us with the whole Star Trek fan. Are you other genre fans?
Yeah.
What do you read? What do you watch? What are you into?
Well, I finally, because I didn't have HBO, so I finally started watching Game of Thrones. So I, got through the first 2 seasons in 2 days, so I'm like all caught up. And I was talking to the writers, like, is Adalind going to, like, is she going to eat a heart? Like, what's she going to, like, now, Daenerys is this sort of like, yes, I want to be a warrior, eating hearts, killing people. There's lots of.
I want to be a White Walker.
Yeah,
that's it. Adalind could be a White Walker. There you go.
That's true. I could live forever in the snow.
That's awesome.
So I'm finally caught up on that. I watched a ton of Dexter last year because
love Dexter.
Adalind, that's what, like, in order to figure out how to do this character, like, she's just she's like a sociopath, really. Like, she has no remorse, she has no empathy, and Dexter's such a great character.
Mm-hmm.
So is Cersei, actually. That's a good combination.
Wow, that's interesting way to base her, because they are kind of in parallel, because they're supposed to have no feelings, no remorse, no nothing, but yet Dexter is probably one of the most empathetic characters on the show.
Yeah, which is
it's
amazing.
awesome, and I could see that with your character. Actually, that works really beautifully.
I know. I'm probably going to think about that now.
I know.
So I'm just stealing things right and left.
I would.
We're turning Adalind. We're turning Adalind into an anti-hero.
I love it.
Yeah.
I actually like that.
So that I can stick around. I really like working on the show.
I really like that idea. I think that actually works for her character. The more I think about it.
What you'll find in, like, the back half of the season 2 is you start to see all these characters who have it out for her, and so she does become vulnerable. I'm excited for everybody to get to see these next few episodes. But yeah, and in terms of other stuff, like Doctor Who, I am not caught up on the newest season.
You just spoke to Ben's heart there.
But Amy Pond was, like, she's so good. That was my favorite. I mean, well, they're all my favorites, but she was so good. And so I watched one episode with a new companion. I don't even know what her name is because I didn't.
Clara.
I just wasn't.
Clara.
I missed Amy too
Yes.
much. Yeah, Clara. I should watch. I mean, like, come on. Names and everything.
There you go.
But Sherlock. I like the BBC.
You are pushing all of our geek buttons
You're
right
every
now.
one of them. Now, all you have to all you got to do is say defying gravity, and basically.
I watched Defiance, not Defying Gravity, but
Defiance.
Defiance is good. Yeah, Defiance it's going to be phenomenal.
I think it's got potential. Yeah, that world is amazing.
It really is,
and it looks so good.
Well, it's interesting because it feels like a Mardi Gras festival going on in a city, and they're just
a very dystopic Mardi Gras.
Well,
I'm like, did you watch the first episode?
Yeah, I mean, it's very
parties.
dystopic. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it's just
also like.
Feels like a party.
The sort of whorehouse too. It's like kind of like Hellboy, but also what's the third Star Wars with all the Ewoks where they go?
Return of the Jedi.
The, like, tavern. You know what I'm talking about? It has. I feel like a lot of. It references so much great, like, sci-fi history. I guess that's fun too.
Okay, I just got to say your geek cred has gone way the heck up.
I know.
Oh, truly.
because you're actually being able you come up with geek analysis. You're talking our language right now.
We're not even interviewing about your show anymore. We're just like,
this is awesome stuff. I've loved the fact that you love Sherlock, and you're into all the British shows. This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I got into Luther too, which is really
that one I don't know.
Loser, I haven't heard of that.
It's
Luther.
Good.
Luther.
It's
Luther.
It's not. I mean, it's like, well, he's kind of an anti-hero as well. It's Idris Elba from The Wire and all that. But he's fantastic. That's pretty good too. And I think of what else is like recent on television. There was one, X-Files. X-Files scared me too much. So, like, I would watch it, but then I couldn't watch it. And then I would try to watch it again, and I would get too scared.
Well, considering the nightmares you had, I guess.
Yeah, X-Files had good episodes.
Yeah, but it also had really disgusting episodes.
Yeah,
too.
it did. Home
Yeah,
will stay
yeah.
with me forever. Home is the word that one has
Oh my god!
burned
Oh
into
my god!
brain.
It's like just thinking about that gives me shivers. I can hear the song in my head.
Oh, I know.
Oh god!
That is probably the creepiest, most horrendous thing that has ever been put on public television, on regular broadcast television ever. It's insane.
The eye underneath a floorboard. Whoever thought of that? I mean, I don't know which writer it was and what nightmare he was referencing. Or like,
the writer's definitely undergoing some strange psychotherapy right now.
Even people who never watched X-Files know what home is. It's like the creepiest show ever. That's awesome.
Well, given all of this that we've just discussed, and I kind of want to go back to your career a little bit. One thing that I noticed is, in addition to acting, you've had experience directing.
Well, so my friend and I did a web series. There are a lot of off hours being an actor, and I had an idea for these two characters, and so we started doing these web shorts. Just because it was fun in our spare time, and we submitted it to this independent television festival in LA, and we won like the best mobile category, which was very, very new at that point. But yeah, that was it was a fun thing. I think the best things always come out of those circumstances where you're just doing it because it's fun and there's kind of like no real expectation.
So would you like to explore more of that directing career, and would you love for the opportunity of being able to direct maybe an episode or two of Grimm?
I don't know. I think, a lot of actors do that, obviously, but I don't know that I would be as fulfilled directing. Like, I don't have that urge. I mean, I'm definitely a control freak in my daily life, but that's more about, keeping the apartment clean and making all of the plans for everybody in my life, much to their chagrin.
That's actually more anal retentive.
Actually, it's not really control freak. That's more OCD.
Yeah, OCD, that works too, yeah.
But I think, being a director, it's such a different skill. And the ones who do it, I don't know how the ones who do it well, it's just this kind of magical thing that happens where they're able to talk to actors and then they still have a visual sense. And it's just something that I wouldn't attempt unless I knew I could really knock it out of the park. And that would take years and years of more school and more training. So I think, I would my time spent now is just being a better actor. And then I like writing, little tidbits because it's just more character creation, which is kind of what I do acting anyway.
Very cool. Very cool. And it gives you more time to do Butterfinger Snackers commercials.
Right. Oh God.
Sorry, I was just reading your bio here.
There was 1 year where I think I did 7 national commercials, which is just so strange that I got that sort of lucky anyway, because those things can really pay the bills in a great way.
Oh, but, truly. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I noticed looking at your biography is in the middle of doing all this really great stuff, like Life on Mars and CSI. Also, you had a stint on General Hospital.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was it was during the writer's strike, and I had auditioned for something a while back on General Hospital, and so the town was dead, and because the soaps they were after, there was I'm sure I was doing something bad, anti-union thing, which is horrifying to think of now, but there wasn't much work, and they offered this role that was sort of recurring, and I think, soaps or something as an actor, you always wonder, well, gosh, what is that like? I wonder what that world is. It seems like, people have fun on them, and it's just a whole different world. So they offered it, and I started doing it, and it was definitely interesting. I think if it had been the first job I'd had getting out of school, it would have been, great training ground, because you're shooting an episode a day. I mean, the pace is crazy.
It is crazy.
And there's like the people there have been there for years. They have this pretty tight knit family, so it's kind of cool to be a part of something. Like General Hospital just had a 50th anniversary, so it's kind of cool to be a part of something that has lasted that long.
Nice.
But I think I'd already worked so much in episodics that it started to feel like a little stayed after a while. You play the same character, but like not much happens. The storylines are very slow.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and I liked, I was doing a lot of comedy at the time, and comedy on a soap it's there. It's just harder to come by.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that was my soap shit. So that's basically
Awesome.
like done it all.
Cool.
I tell you, it's cool stuff. And Claire Coffey, it's been absolutely awesome having you on the show with us today.
Oh, you guys are the best. Seriously.
It is just
No,
so
you are the
fun.
best.
You're the best. You can come back and talk sci-fi geek stuff with us anytime you want.
Oh yeah, let's do that. I want to come and talk to you guys too after you see, like after the finale. I want your sort of analysis.
Oh,
you can give me a
absolutely.
We can do that.
Let's do that. Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, that's going to happen anyway.
All right, good.
All righty. Well, it's been awesome talking to you. Folks, go out there and watch Grimm. Definitely check it out. And thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Claire, for a wonderful half hour. And we will we'll be back with more Slice Sci-Fi tomorrow. Bye.